So welcome back to another episode, and it's really good to be joined today by Dawn. Dawn, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure, as always. And hi to everyone in the comments. So good to see you. A lot of friendly faces, a lot of people returning, which
Hi.
is lovely to see.
Yesterday I didn't get to see all the people. I didn't click on the comments, so I didn't even realize who was all there right away. But I can see now. I see Catherine and Nicola, Cassandra's sister, which is Diana. That's my bestie. She's here. She's the one I was telling you about.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
remember speaking to her on yours and Tracy's live last night.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and there's
Awesome. Well,
Catherine.
good.
She's my stalker. So, funnily enough, I was making a joke about the fact that Catherine Price is always in the same live streams that I'm in, and I said she must be
He's
following
awesome.
me. She must be
Yeah,
following
right.
me. And then I went to watch a video last night by another YouTuber, and he was mentioning her in his video, and I was just like, I can't get away from the woman. So
She's all over the place. Good job, Catherine. Good
yeah,
job. Hey,
she's getting herself
Tracy.
about.
Tracy's here.
But yeah, we were just talking about the YouTube advice that we all hear and see on YouTube, and those sort of videos that promise you like endless rewards if you just do this one thing. And I kind of I made a parody of it this week, just kind of taking the Mickey, as we like to say, out of that
Yeah.
sort of video. And you had a question for me, didn't you, Dawn, about that? And I
Yeah.
think
How do you feel about that now? Since the CEO came out
yeah,
and told us what really matters, that's going to change things for those guys. That's what they do. They're telling us all this stuff, which we found out now is useless. It's useless. you know, um, Hashtags and promoting it at a certain time of day and all that stuff and
yeah.
titling it, give it this title or whatever.
Well,
That's
I
like I
think
said, you give good advice. So what do you think about that?
well, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I've found what works for me, and I know from speaking to so many other people on YouTube, small people, small creators with small channels. No one's ever told me, "Oh, I went viral because I put a hashtag in my description." No one's ever said to me, anything like that. Oh, I blew up my channel because I've only post at 8 p.m. While some of these things that people talk about might have some merit to a certain extent, but like Neil, the CEO of YouTube, said, the biggest reason that channels grow is human connection. You have to provide the audience with something of value, something that they want. And that's really it. It's like in real life. If you
Yeah,
were to meet someone and you like them and they're good for you, you get on well, you think they're funny, they provide value, they teach you
right.
something, you're going to want to spend more time with that person, right? And it's the same with YouTube because it's very intimate. It's not like TV. We interact with each other. It's completely different
That's a good
to
point.
so I think that the advice that a lot of the big channels give you, there's a real distinction. Some of the channels will give you really good advice. But if you haven't got the basics down, if you aren't able to talk to a camera, if you aren't able to connect with people, if you aren't able to understand what people want to watch, then all of that extra stuff that they layer on top, like the tags, the titles, the thumbnails, the descriptions, while it can be important, they are just
Yeah,
parts of a larger puzzle.
right.
So you said, do I think they realize that what they're telling us is useless?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's completely useless, but I think for the most part they know what will sell a video. But it's interesting because I made a video this week which was a complete just rip off of the video. I'm
That's
just
great.
basically I it's a bit clickbaity really because I've used the same title that somebody who's promoting used this one hashtag to go viral. And I made a video called that, calling out the BS. But that video has had less views than any other view on my channel, any other video on my channel.
Wow.
So do people? I don't understand why people will watch them. I guess they just cling on to the hope. What do
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah. We're looking for something because we don't know what we're doing. And, we're all new to this and we're thinking these guys know we're going to listen to them. We're going to do what they tell us to do. But like I
Yeah,
told you, after a few months of following these guys and you don't see any difference, you realize that they don't know the secret.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. It hasn't made a difference to me whether I've put tags in the video or not. What makes the difference for me, my videos and the performance of them, even at my stage, is just whether or not that video is useful to people or whether they resonate with what I'm saying. And I think that's the
Yeah,
biggest message that people need to take away.
right. Because when you did that, you did a couple good videos, people shared them. That's how I found you. Other people like Tracy and Emmy, they shared them, and I was like, okay, I'm going to check this guy out because I like them and their channel, and that's people appreciate you. So I think that's the best thing you could do is just give
Yeah.
authentic advice. Don't just
Well,
copy and
yeah.
regurgitate the same thing. You
Well,
know,
what else could I do really, honestly? Because I'm new to this whole I'm a new YouTuber. I'm the same as anyone else that's just started on YouTube. The difference is because I haven't really got an interest that I know that I could stick to for a long time, and I love YouTube, and I get to play with all the cameras and microphones and all the cool kit. I thought that, well, there's a lot of people out there that struggle to even have the courage to start their YouTube channels, right? And if I just document my journey as a YouTuber, and if I can help other people, like, other people that are small channels or who even haven't had the guts to start, then not only is that quite a fulfilling thing to do, but
yes,
it fulfills itself because every time I make a couple of videos, I make so many mistakes. That gives me the content I need to make more videos about them mistakes to help other people. So I'm not an expert, but it's definitely a tough niche to be in because you have the imposter syndrome of being a new YouTube channel at the same time as the
it's hard.
imposter syndrome of being like a YouTube channel,
Yeah,
a YouTuber teaching people how to do YouTube, which is tricky.
yeah, because people are like, why should I listen to this guy?
Well, Naz said that the key is to use tags starting with the letter S in the year of the rat. I think you should make a video about this, Naz, if I'm honest. And if you do, or I
Yeah,
don't know, I'm not going to give you anything because I'm tight, but I think you should
let me
definitely
know.
make a video about that.
Yeah, let me know if it works because we're all looking. We're all trying to figure it out because I have so many friends that are, content creators and they're starting out and we're all trying to find out what works. We're watching other people and so many of them have such great content. And I love watching them and it's like I don't understand why their channel is not bigger. I don't get it. And the only thing I can think of is I thought YouTube just basically picks and choose who they push out, because how did somebody like, what's her name? Dodash. I don't know if you know who she is. She went viral,
No,
because Diana knows. And there's several like that. They went viral. And it's like, for one, how do you go viral? That's what we all want to know. And she's making a ton of money, man, and she's all she does is come on and tell everybody that they need to make a YouTube channel, and she's real hyper and she gets real excited and she's like, if you're pretty and you got something to say, you need to start a YouTube channel, and look how much money I'm making and blah blah blah, but she doesn't really talk about anything other than that. And so she gets other people excited. They're like, oh, she said I should make a YouTube channel and I'll make lots of money like her.
yeah, yeah,
So
but that's the dream, isn't it, Dawn? That's the
yeah,
dream that people sell other people. It's like them videos that say, add this hashtag and you will go viral. We know it's absolute nonsense, but
we do
people
it.
want to buy the dream, and it's like this person, by the sounds of it, they're really good at packaging and
She's
promoting the
really good.
dream, and that's what sells. So when I'm sitting there with my miserable English accent going, YouTube's hard, it's really difficult, and sometimes you're going to question yourself, and it's going to be really difficult to press record. I mean, sometimes I question who wants to watch that stuff, but someone out there will be watching that going, do you know what, this man gets it, it is hard, it's not easy, but
That's
maybe I should
exactly why
start.
we watch it.
The thing is, I could start making all of these videos, and maybe I'd get more views, but I'd just become kind of like a sellout, wouldn't I? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I should start doing sensationalized videos that promise the world that don't ever get you anywhere. I'm
Yeah,
sure that
I'm
isn't
so
going to be
tired of those.
yeah, me too. Me too. And I think that's what drives people to other channels like, I know that Rob's channel gets mentioned constantly, but there's a reason for that, right? Rob the Maritimer's channel is he's so relatable and so likable, and he gives good, solid advice that's down to earth.
He
And
is.
it's
He is.
that's the kind of YouTuber that I want to be.
I
I
can
think
see, yeah. Oh, you
that's
will
the
be. We've all said
well.
that. You're gonna blow up.
I don't have a boat though, or a cat.
But you got the right personality for this, because people don't want all these fake phony people. I mean, we watch them, but they're not the ones that we listen to. I watch her, she's more entertaining. Dodash is entertaining,
Yeah.
and I think that's why a lot of people watch YouTube. They want to be
Well,
entertained.
yeah. It's not all just about doing something or teaching someone how to do something. You don't have to be, the fountain of knowledge or the font
Right.
of all knowledge. If you're entertaining, you can do that. I mean, I was watching a Mr. Beast video earlier, and that's kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine, I guess, where he just kind of sends someone to the North Pole to get some snow, and if he can bring it back without it being melted, he's going to get $10,000. And I'm like, well, God's sake, it's such absolute rubbish, but sometimes you just want to take your brain out and just sit there and just go,
That's what people want, especially the younger people. So,
yeah,
and I get it because I have guilty pleasures, things that I watch, you know. But the secret though, or everybody wants to know the secret. It's like how do these people grow their channels? But I've watched some channels from when they were small, and I've watched them grow. And what I've noticed is just the consistency for one, and you either you click with their personality or you don't. But most of these people have showmanship. They're
yeah.
they know how to present themselves. Do you ever watch like Steve Wallace? I mean, he's got millions of subscribers. He's the stealth camper.
No, and that's the beauty of YouTube. You could be watching people that I've never heard of, but have got millions of followers or subscribers. There are
And
so
I've
many people on YouTube, so there's
I've
someone out
watched
there
him
for
since he
everyone.
was a little bitty channel. He was just living out of his van, and he just had a couple thousand, and now he's got millions. And
Well,
I've
let's hope
watched
for
him
us all.
grow. It's probably been over a 4 or 5 year period.
Well,
But
that's the thing. It's about consistency, and nowadays there's a lot of instant gratification out there. There's people that want things now. They want it instantly. Credit cards that you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to save. You can have whatever you want now and just pay for it later. But with YouTube, it just doesn't work that way. And again,
right.
that doesn't sell videos. I'm not going to imagine I put a video out there and the title was YouTube takes years. Who's going to want to
Nobody wants to hear that.
who wants to watch that, right? But it's the
Nobody.
truth. In a lot of cases,
Dream
unless you're Naz, who
squasher.
can get 1,000 subscribers in 2 months, you know. But
Yeah,
that's a
that's what
little,
we
a
want to
little,
hear.
yeah. People don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. But I've got a question for you, and it's kind of something that I don't know how you do it. How do you make content almost every single day
Oh, I
and
had
then
no
put that
life.
out there?
I
Sorry?
had no life. Honestly, when I first started this, and I told Tracy that I had no life. I had an empty nest. My daughter had just moved out. My sister had just passed away. I was alone. I hadn't gone back to work yet. I had nothing to do. So I turned to YouTube because that's what I was watching. And I thought I'll go on there and maybe I'll make some friends and, get some inspiration. I was just going to do a video vlog. And then it took off. And then I got monetized and stuff. But now I do have a life. Now I did go back to work and I'm helping with my grandkids. And all of a sudden, I don't have the time. It's becoming a lot of work, but
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's like my favorite thing of all the things I do. I love doing YouTube because I love the comments. I love connecting with people. It gives me joy. If I wasn't enjoying it so much, I couldn't do it. If I was just doing this as a job, it would be miserable. But I love it. I look forward to seeing my friends in the comments, because it's the same people come back. And when I'm feeling discouraged or down, they lift me up. It's a great social community as well. So right now, I'm not there yet. It's not a full-time job, but I am
Well,
taking
you're
it
getting there
serious.
though, because I mean, to be honest, you're on how many subscribers are you on now? 5,000 something?
Yeah, a little over 5,000.
That's amazing. So, do you think that the reason that your YouTube channel is now taking you a lot more effort is because of the amount of people that are following you on there, that you're getting so many more comments that you have to reply to.
Yeah, and I take that serious too. I see a lot of creators that don't respond to their comments, and when people take the time to leave me a comment and, say such nice things, I want to reciprocate. I want them to know I read their comment and it meant a lot to me, because it did. And so I try to take the time to respond to people, but I feel bad because as my channel grows and I get more comments, it is becoming increasingly difficult to respond to every one of them. And I feel horrible when I don't respond to somebody, because they're, they're friends. These people, I've become friends with them. And I want them to know that their comments help my channel, because without their comments, our channels aren't going to grow.
That's it, isn't it? And like you
Yeah.
said, I don't know how people do it. They have a YouTube channel, they've put out that hard work, and then somebody's taken their time to watch their content and they don't reply. That just
Right.
completely baffles me, because for me, when I can recall a couple of months ago when I only had like 4 subscribers, and somebody commented on my video and it was the first one I ever had, and I was just like, somebody watched my video, and it was such a good feeling. But the funny thing is, I still have that feeling now every single time. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how many people like the video, I
Right.
get the same feeling every single comment, and I feel like it's my duty to reply to every single person. There isn't a
Right.
single comment on my channel that I haven't responded to, and I will do that for as long as I possibly can.
Yes.
I'm interested to know how someone with a lot more subscribers manages that, because that must
Yeah.
almost be a full-time job in itself.
It takes a couple hours. I try to do it at night. I'm a night owl. And so that's usually when I'll respond, or first thing in the morning when I'm having my coffee, because I love the comments. People write such nice things, and, and they're human beings, they're people, and they tell me their stories and stuff. And I want to connect with them, because I think it's so nice that they took the time, because they didn't have to leave a comment. I watch a lot of videos that I don't comment on, you know, and the comments are everything. If it wasn't for the comments, your channel is never going to grow if you don't have that interaction, and we need that.
Exactly. I nearly missed this one from Cassandra. And
Okay.
if guys, if you're going to leave a comment, please do put the 3 Qs in front of it so that I can see it easily, because otherwise I'll just miss it. But Cassandra's asking if she should keep her vidIQ account if it doesn't really matter the title or the description. Well, firstly, I would say that the title and the description and the thumbnail are the 3 things that do matter. Um, they are that is true. You do need to worry about that, because they're the first thing that people see. So whether or not you should keep your vidIQ account, it depends completely on if you're getting value from it. If it's helping you, or if it's confusing you, then only you can really answer that question. I don't think that vidIQ fall into the category of people who use excessive amounts of clickbait to sell people a dream. I think that their channel has a lot of good advice. But like I was saying to Dawn before we went live, you need to have the basics nailed down before you start going into the intricacies of tweaking tags and titles and optimizing thumbnails. And I think from what Dawn was saying, you've got that already, Cassandra. You're doing really well. So whether or not you
Cheers.
should keep it, I can't really make that decision for you, but for sure the thumbnails and titles definitely do matter. So I'm
Right.
sorry if I gave you the impression that they don't. I think what we were talking to more over was the fact that adding this hashtag right now will not make you go viral, and those sort of videos that we see, those are the ones that we were talking about that are misleading. So I hope I've cleared that up.
So Jay,
Yeah.
what what do you think is the secret? What do you think it takes to go viral? Because I haven't figured it out. I've been doing it for a year.
Well, I don't think I'm in a position to answer that question, to be honest. I think from what I've gathered, from what I've researched, and from other people who seem to know what they're talking about, I think it very much, if your video is tested on your subscribers and it resonates with them, and you get a very high average view duration, a very high click through rate, YouTube knows that's a good video, and they will test that on kind of like the next level of people. And if it goes like that, if people then like that video and it resonates with them, it'll push it out to more people and more people, and it'll just keep doing it. And obviously,
Good.
the growth then becomes exponential because as it keeps expanding and thousands of people are watching it, that's where the momentum builds. So it's really about making content that people resonate with and enjoy watching, like the
Right.
CEO of YouTube said. And it really comes back to that every single time. I really loved what he said about replacing the audience, the word audience with replacing the word algorithm with audience. I
Yeah.
think that's something to bear in mind always.
Right. Right. Um, but that's the number one question that people ask me. What am I doing? What can I do to make my videos go out more or whatever? It's like I wish I knew. I have no idea, but I just
Well,
tell them
you
what
you
I
do though. You must do because I mean, you. How long have you had your channel now? Is it a year?
a year. It's almost a year. Yeah.
And you're over 5,000, which is
Well, I like I said, the first 6 months, it took me 6 months to get 1,000, and then
okay.
I've gotten another 4,000 in this 6 month period.
Yeah,
So it has grown exponentially. But like I said, I started doing lives, collaborations. I highly suggest that if you can find somebody else in your niche to collaborate with, I think that would be helpful because then you're not just it's not just your audience that's seeing it; it's the person that you're collaborating with. Their audience is going to see it as well. So
that is
that
so true. That's so true. And I'm guessing you did that through lives, did you, Dawn?
yeah, I think you're my sixth or seventh live.
Okay. Yeah, this is my third, but they've been so good. Actually, regardless of any growth I might get from it, the pleasure of speaking to other people, it
Right.
just it far outweighs anything because I'll get to your question in a second, Cassandra. I'm so sorry, but um I just want to say this. When I first started my channel, I thought that it was just kind of like you post a video and then you sit back and people watch it. But the community on YouTube, I never imagined just how amazing it is. And if there's anyone out there that's, questioning whether they should start connecting with other people even if they're not in your niche, connecting with other people on YouTube is the best way to grow, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Comment on other people's videos, comment with their subscribers, talk to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. So Cassandra's asked a question and she said she's got videos that have got low watch time and it's depressing. I kind of get that. Well,
I was telling Jay about you earlier, Diana, and I was like, your videos are amazing. You're great. You've got the voice and the showmanship, and you're fun and funny, and you're doing everything you could possibly do right. There's nothing that you are doing that's wrong from what I can see, because I watch other people and try to learn from them. But you're doing everything right. The only thing I can think of is it's your niche because it's such a specific niche, and but that's to your advantage at the same time because there's very few people for you to compete with. You're the
yeah.
only, so that's been good, and that's why you got the growth. But you and I understand why your niche is quiet because of what it's about. So it's hard to get the interaction. Um,
Well, like kind of like Steve said there, he's given some good advice, and this is something that you'll see Rob do in his videos a lot. The
yeah,
first 30 seconds are important because when someone
that is
clicks
good
on your
advice.
video, the title and the thumbnail are the promise. The title will tell someone what that video is about, and if you don't let them know, kind of put their mind at ease very quickly when they've clicked on your video that they're going to get what they clicked on that video for, a lot of
Yes,
people will leave. So you need to kind of,
absolutely.
I almost want to say get to the point. I know it sounds a little bit blunt, but
No,
I'll click on a video where someone's talking about one thing, or the title's told me that that video is about one thing, and then 2 minutes later they're still talking about something else, and
yes, I was
it's
guilty of
tricky.
that. I really appreciated when you brought that point up. That was something I really like. Wow, that makes sense. I'm going to start doing that because I wasn't getting to the point, and I can get long winded, and I would just start rambling, and then it wasn't connected to the title until almost the end. You know what I mean? And I realized, and I've had people tell me, "My God, I was here for 8 minutes, and you never did get to the point. I
Really,
unsubscribed." Yeah,
they've said that to you.
they did. People are blunt. And I was like, they're right. What could I say? They were right. And I thought, I got to listen to these people because, you know, but you made a video about that. And I thought that's a good point. That's very important. And I'm going to focus on that from here on out, at least giving them an excerpt of what I'm talking about and that lets them know we are touching on this subject.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've
Very
seen you do that. I mean, and you've kind of, it's like a what's coming up kind of snippets of the video that are talking about the point that the title promises. And I'll use Rob again because why not? He's a great role model there.
right, right,
In the beginning, you'll notice that the delivery of what he's telling you will be a lot quicker. The edit will be tighter. He'll often, as he says himself, he'll script out the beginning, the first 30 seconds. So they're very tight and it's very specific before he then goes into his conversational style that we all know and love. And I think that's something that everyone can take away, if I'm
right,
honest.
right.
Even if you don't really have a niche, even if you are the niche, there are some people that we know who are the niche kind of thing. People will tune in
Yes.
just to see them. I think having a good intro is very important. So I hope that answers your question. And
Yeah.
we've got another question here, and I'll jump straight into that one. So relaxing ways, I don't know your name, but she's asked, he or she has asked, what subscriber level does momentum usually grow you faster? It seems the first 10 like I have are tough. Yeah, so
Yes.
I've been on YouTube a couple of months now, maybe 2 months, just over, and it took me a month, maybe 5 weeks to get to 100. Um,
Yeah.
but that was
The
slow because it
hardest.
kept going up and then down, up and then down, and then in 3 weeks it doubled. And
Yeah.
I know other people like Naz, who was on the call earlier. When I first met him a couple of months ago, he was on 83 and he's on over 1100 now. But for him, he'll
Wow.
tell you it was a slow month. He had I think he said he had like his second video got 0 views. And then he went
That's
from
so
200 to
disheartening.
500 in about 2 weeks, I think. It went so quickly. And then from then, it just kind of really speeds up. As long as you keep being consistent and doing what you know works,
Right.
and you can experiment a little bit, but if you find something that works, then stick to it.
Right. Oh, relaxing ways. Your name is Mike.
Okay, hi Mike, welcome.
Okay. Good to know. You know what though? It takes a long time. When I first started, I had, 5, 6 people and it was family and friends. And I didn't know how to grow my channel. I didn't know. But you know what did it? And people will tell you this. I think it was at my third or fourth month in, I used a clickbait title, which you should never do. And I'm not saying it, but I used a clickbait title and it was Why I Hate Carnivores. Because I'm
Well,
a
there's nothing wrong with
carnivore.
a clickbait video as long as you're delivering a message and you're
I
making a
did.
video that people enjoy, yeah?
And it brought thousands. That was my first video that actually got a ton of views and comments. And
Because you're rage baiting them, aren't you, really? Did you get a lot of people in there giving you abuse?
yep, I took a risk. I was scared. I did tick some people off, but hey, it brought in a bunch of people, and that was when my channel actually started growing. But I never did it again, and it did help. It really it
Well, I think
helped.
you might be the actual growth expert here then, because you're using all of these underhand techniques that most people wouldn't even think about.
And I apologized for it in the video, but I had to do something. I was desperate. My channel wasn't growing. I was like, what can I do? So yeah, rage bait, and it worked. And
There you go. You've heard it from Dawn, everyone. Use rage baiting techniques to grow your channel. Never mind
that and
hashtags.
yep, and the live collaborations if you can. And then, like we were talking about earlier, is promoting your video with YouTube.
Yeah.
I know
Did you
the
you did
watch
that?
hours don't count, but it has brought in hundreds of subscribers. And like I said, I can show you the numbers. I'll try and do that on one of my next videos so people can see, because it gives you the analytics and it lets you know how many subscribers you got off of that promotion.
It's interesting because I've met people and I've spoken to people who have promoted their channels and it's absolutely killed their audience because I know a guy who's got 8,000 subscribers and every single video he gets maybe 10 or 20 views because those subscribers don't watch his videos.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know because you said you've had success with promotions and maybe if
Yeah, I
you're
really
doing a
have.
very specific thing and those people who you promote to and then they subscribe because they like your content. I guess I can see how logically it could work. But
And it's through YouTube, so I felt like
yeah,
it was legitimate.
let's ask the audience if anyone here has any experience of that, because I think for me the jury's still out. I'm not sure I want to do that, but I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing because I don't know. And obviously it's worked for you, which is, like I said, you're the first person I've spoken to who said that that's been a good thing. So yeah, it'd
Yeah,
be
and like
interesting
I
to
said,
know.
I only promote my videos for $1 or $2. A couple of them I spent $5 on. And then you can pick the countries you want it to go out to, and you can pick the demographic, what age, male or female. You can click the boxes and they'll target
Right.
it to that audience for you. And because my niche is being over 60, that's what I clicked. I clicked people over 60. And like I told you, a lot of my subscribers are from the UK. So I clicked UK, Canada, Australia, because I seem to get a lot of people from there anyway. So I thought, that's what I.
Well, there you go. Who knew? I'll have to do a little bit more research and maybe I'll make a video about it. It's definitely an interesting topic, and I'm sure a lot of people have thought about it. Cassandra's got another question, and she's asked if she needs to say the title of her video when she first starts talking. Well, you don't have to, but that, we said that it's you need to kind of disarm the viewer to make them realize that they're going to get what they clicked on the video for. That can be a really good way of doing it. So you might want to use that technique. I've done it quite a bit. I know other people that do it, some of the bigger channels that do it as well, Cassandra. They'll say, in this video, I'm going to tell you about, and it can work, and it's quite a simple way of doing it. So yeah, especially if you've got a very specific message that you're going to deliver, that can definitely work.
Right. I want to say hi to my granddaughter. She's on the computer downstairs because I just saw my name pop up. I thought, what? And it's my granddaughter, Sadie. She said, hi, Nana. It's Sadie. I'm like,
Hi, Sadie.
hi, honey. Thank you. Yeah. And you got to get the support from your family and your friends. I hear a lot of people say, don't do that. I didn't know not to. So I told all my family and all my friends to subscribe. I guess
Yeah,
that's
well,
though. They say that you shouldn't do that.
yeah, a lot of people say that. I mean, I didn't do it for selfish reasons because I don't want people. I don't. I don't want to have that to know that people I know in my real life are watching me. I want this to be a creative space, if you like, where I can just
I
do
get
me
that.
and do what I want to do
I get
without
that.
the judgment of knowing that my mum's watching me, you know,
Right.
thinking, what are you talking about? Why are you being an idiot?
Right, right. Well, I know my grandkids are watching me. They're my biggest fans, so I have to curb my potty mouth.
Yeah.
So,
So
they
you've
help
taught me
me.
something because, like I said, there's a few things that you've done that I was always told weren't a good idea, but you've done it and it worked. So that proves that I don't always know everything, and the most popular advice can often be open to interpretation.
New creator
We've got so
clubs.
many
Yeah,
questions tonight, which I'm really
yeah,
grateful for. I'm going to do my best to get through to them. I just want to say, and Steve's making some good points as well. So Steve, I
right.
always appreciate you. You're kind of holding the fort there in the chat, answering the questions as we go. If I miss anyone, so thank you, mate.
Awesome.
But Tracy said she's been showing up for 2 years, and as she says, good things take time. Well,
Yeah, that's true.
I know that you don't think that you're doing very well, Tracy, but I see the engagement that your videos get.
Oh my God, right? Look at how committed her subscribers are.
Yeah.
They love her. We all do.
Yep. And that's just people tuning in to see her because she is
That's
like one of the rare people that is the niche.
exactly. No, she's awesome. I thought she was, she to me, her channel looked so professional. Right away, I was engaged because I love the way that she photographs things, and the way she was talking into the mic. And I was just like, right away, I thought, okay, I'm going to watch this lady. She knows what she's doing. And I told her I was shocked to find out her channel. She had 1,100, which is good. It's still very good, but
Yeah.
she should have 100,000 because her content is wonderful. She's wonderful at what she does. She's engaging, and I think her channel will. It was just, like I said, I don't understand why do some channels like that are wonderful. Why don't they grasp onto that yet? And then you'll see other channels that are just ridiculous, and they got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. It's like I don't get it. I don't understand YouTube.
Yeah. It's just I guess people are weird, aren't they?
Yeah,
I
they
can't
like,
answer that question because I agree. I think Tracy should definitely have more
and I think
subscribers
she
than she
will.
does.
We just
I
got
think
to
so
get her
too.
out
But
there.
there's a certain element of quality over quantity, isn't there, with Tracy's channel? Because all of her
Yes.
subscribers, the vast majority of them are actually engaged. Which some of these big channels, you'll see that they might get 100,000 views, but they'll only get 2,000, or they might have 100,000 subscribers. They might only get 5,000 views. Well, Tracy's views on her videos might be 30 or 40% of her whole subscriber base,
Right.
which is
That's
really good.
huge.
Yeah. So
Well, I wanted to ask you, Jay.
yeah,
I talked about, making money, and I've talked to a lot of other content creators that have just as many subscribers as I do, and some have even more, and they're not making near as much. And the only thing I can think of, because I don't get a ton of views, sometimes I don't, just be a couple hundred, but is it because people watch the video? The longer they watch
yeah,
it, that's the only thing I can think of. Cause it's like, I've
it'll be
had
the
people
watch
say I can
time.
even get $100 this month, and they've got more subscribers than I do.
So it's the watch time, isn't it? So they could have 1 million subscribers, but if people aren't watching the whole video, or if not many people are clicking on it and watching it, then that's what it is.
Okay.
It's all about the watch time. Let me know when I get there because obviously you're in a position that a lot of people would love to be in, and actually having a monetized channel,
Yeah,
which
I
is
was
great.
excited because when I think the first thing is you have to get 500 subscribers, and I don't know how many watch hours, that before you're fully,
4,000.
yeah. Okay. So I got that notification a month before I got the 1,000, and it let me know that I could do all these, I could do super thanks and super chats, I guess, that kind of stuff. And I thought, oh, wow, this means that, I needed another 500 and I could get, monetized. And so basically I was at 500 in December and I reached 1,000 in January.
Wow.
Yeah, so I forgot about that, and so I got monetized in January. And if you don't make over $100, they don't cut you a check. I had made 98, so I didn't get a check that month, but they added it to the next month's check, and I got $150 super thanks from this one gentleman. So they added
Wow.
that and that. So I ended up getting an $800 check in February. I'm like, oh my God,
That's amazing.
is this how it's going to go? It's just going to grow and I'm going to make more money? Well, no, that was
No,
the
but
biggest.
you're in a position that a lot of people would love to be in, and I think that that is such an inspiring story, and it gives hope to a lot of people for sure.
I was definitely fortunate, but I have to be honest, I haven't made that much since. I make about 400 a month. That's, some months, I made 500 one month, but usually it's more, it's especially, the summer slump, it's more like 400 a month. And I was thinking, oh, it's not good. But then everybody else is like, are you kidding me? I was like,
I think
okay.
that's really good, and I mean, okay, I mean, I don't want to burst your bubble, but how many hours do you spend making videos? And then if you were to use that as an hourly rate, who knows? But the fact is, you love it. You're doing it from your house. You're
Well,
speaking to
Jay,
all of these cool people,
I don't,
your
I don't
friends.
spend a lot of time making a video. You've seen mine. I'm not professional. I just turn my camera on. I film myself talking for 20 minutes, and then I go on my phone and I edit it for maybe another 10, 15 minutes, and then I
Yeah,
upload
but
it.
you are the definition of a professional because you get paid to do it. That is the definition of professional when you get paid
Really?
to do something. So you
Okay.
are a professional YouTuber, whether you like it or not.
I just
Yeah.
don't I don't feel that way. I look at people, even people that look more professional. I'm like, I want to get there. I want to get to where I feel like I look professional. My lighting's terrible. My mic is cheap. I need to invest some money if I'm going to do this properly. I'm too cheap. I just haven't, gotten around to it. But I
Well, I don't
should.
think
I
if
enjoy
it's
it.
working for you, isn't it? Like what you're doing, you said for you that you can make a video, it takes you 20 minutes and then 20 minutes to edit it, and you get all the watch hours you need to make $400 a month. I'm doing something wrong because it takes me maybe 6 hours to edit a video.
But yours look good. Every time I see them, that's the thing. It's like, I want my videos to look like that, but I couldn't do it. It takes so much time. And it is a
Yeah.
lot. And I do have a full time, a regular job besides. So I try to squeeze in time to do this now that it's making money. I know it's important and I need to dedicate time to it, but I got too many other things going on. But maybe someday if this channel blows up and I'm making, tons of money, then maybe I'll be able to invest more time and money into it. But
I was watching a
another question.
business coach the other day who has he's a social media coach, and he's got over, I think, over 1 million followers across social media, and he said that when you get to a certain level of income, at some point you need to be able to say, okay, I'm not making as much money as I do now from my main job, but I'm not going to be able to increase the money I make from YouTube until I've got more time. So at some point you just have to say, okay, I'm going to cut my losses for a little bit. I'm going to stop working. I'm going to focus everything on YouTube. And
Yeah,
then that's when you're able to grow the channel a lot more, because you're able to do the light, you can do everything you want to do. You can focus
right.
on it. You can focus on all your content ideas, your script writing, your ideation.
I would love that. Yeah,
So at
take
some
that leap of
point,
faith.
if you're making enough to pay the bills,
Yeah,
maybe take the plunge. But I know it's
yeah,
tricky. It's not
scary
always
for sure.
easy. I did have another question, and it was from
Diana.
have you seen it? Because I'm missing the questions.
Yeah,
I'm
she
being
said
terrible tonight.
she has a lot of shorts, and she was thinking that she needs to stop those in order to get the watch hours. Do you think shorts help or hinder?
Well, they can definitely help for sure. I used to do shorts. Um, I kind of stopped them and deleted them because they weren't. That's another story, but yeah, I personally they weren't really helping me, because
Really?
not only do you need so many more watch hours from shorts than you do from long form videos, but the effort that you put into making that little video, and after 2 or 3 days, if it's not done extremely well, then YouTube just stops pushing it out. Whereas with the long form content, it's evergreen for the most part. You know,
Okay.
you can make a video like my videos I've made 2 months ago, they still get, 3 to 10 views a day in
Oh,
some
nice.
cases, which is not a lot, but for someone of my size, my channel is 200 subscribers, that is a lot.
Right,
Whereas the
right.
shorts I was making would get maybe 500 views, which you think's really good, but I
Yeah,
was maybe after 2 days, that's it, no more. And I'm not getting subscribers from them views. I might get one or
yeah,
two.
yeah.
So if it works for you, then keep doing it. But for
But she
me,
gets thousands from her shorts. She gets thousands of views.
well, there you go. Keep doing it, especially if you're getting subscribers, and just don't let it take away from the long form, because I think that the long form content is where a channel is really made, in my opinion. But then someone who has built up a successful shorts channel would tell me that I'm talking rubbish. So I guess it comes down to if it's working for you. But for me, and I know a lot of people, it's the long form content that will really build that connection with the audience, really help you grow your channel long term. And that's the stuff that people are going to want to come back to see time and time again.
Right, right.
So yeah, like Catherine said, she did shorts. They were good for subscribers, but she's retired and don't want to be putting so much time into YouTube, which is a very
Yeah, that's
valid
like Catherine.
point, because they do take a lot of time. You could spend an hour editing a video that's 30 seconds long.
Right.
Well, for me, I'd rather be recording a long form video, or writing a script or coming up with ideas. But who
That's
knows?
another
That
thing I
might
need to work
change.
on is writing a script. I did it one time and it was so awkward for me. I had to stop in the middle of the video because it's like I have to just free flow it.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
because your style of content is different, though, isn't it? It's you're able to just sit there and talk about a certain thing, and people are interested in watching it. Whereas for
yeah,
me, I'm trying to get a very specific message across.
that's true. That's true. You're giving information. Yeah,
Yeah, so if you're kind of like an info channel, then scripting is kind of the way to go. But I won't always do it. A lot of my videos, you'll see that I just kind of have bullet points, and I'll sit down and talk, and I try to vary it up a little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely. I think
It's a
is that
balance.
Jen? Is that the name of? Yeah, I think it is Jen. Live introvert in Alaska. She said it's a balance between shorts and long form.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is another means for creative expression. Absolutely, absolutely
Oh,
is.
I forgot to tell you another thing that I think
Good point.
helped grow my channel. I had a big channel. I don't know if you know Jack Morgan. He picked one of my videos to critique, and he gets hundreds of thousands of people, and so that brought in quite a bit. That
That's
just
a great
happened
idea.
a couple months ago. YouTube burnout, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so did I miss any of the questions in the comments? Because I'm really conscious of the fact that people are asking me questions and I'm sitting there basically ignoring them because I'm so terrible at reading and talking at the same time.
I know. I was like, I haven't even seen most of these comments. I'm trying to read them now.
So is there anything in particular that you want to start doing with your channel, Dawn? Or are you just happy doing what works? You
Well,
know
right
what
now,
works.
I'm just, I'm trying to share my journey, what I'm going through, where I started, I went through a series of unfortunate events and kind of knocked me off my feet. And I'm trying to get my life back on track. And I'm just sharing my journey. That's what my channel's about. I'm letting people know that it's not over. I was down and out at 63. I thought it was over for us. We had almost depleted our retirement savings because, my husband had a heart attack. He got laid off from his job of 30 years. I had to
Wow.
quit teaching to stay home and take care of my sister. I was doing art classes, and just life was just crap. And then my daughter moved out. All these terrible, terrible things happened, right? And I was done. I thought I don't have it in me, and I was able to turn my life around. So that's basically where I'm at. I'm showing people, look, I've turned my health around. I'm trying to regain my finances, trying to get back on track. So my channel is just me. It's, what's going on in my life. And I think eventually when I get to where I'm going to be, I don't know what I'm going to talk about because I'm still far from that. For at least a few years, I'm sure I'm going to have content, just trying to get my life back on track. And people relate to that. There's a lot of people right
Yeah.
now with the economy and going through all this, they're trying to see, if I make it, can they do that? Can they get back on track?
Yeah,
So,
and I'm sure originally when you were going through hard times, that's what makes people relate to you as a person and really,
and it was hard to share that. Like I said, I even went back and I told Tracy yesterday, I made a lot of those videos private because they were so vulnerable. And now I have a hard time now that I know my audience is bigger. It's harder to share that kind of stuff. Back then it was so small, but now that it's bigger, I have a more difficult time sharing those things. But people relate to that and they do want to hear that, but it's difficult.
it sure is. But I think that the fact that you've pulled through the hard times, for anyone that's going through a difficult time, that is what they cling to, and they want to know how you did it. They want hope, and that's a lot of what we're sharing on YouTube. A lot of what a lot of people are sharing on YouTube. Sharing that hope, whether that's in the form of YouTube growth or in life itself.
Yeah,
Thanks for
right.
sharing that, Dawn. Um,
Sure.
Steve's asked a question about scripting, and he's asked what the view is on scripts versus off the cuff. And I think you've kind of covered it, haven't you, Dawn? You said you tried to do scripting and it didn't work for you.
Because of my channel, it's just me. But for
Yeah,
you're giving advice and information.
yeah.
So yeah, it
Well, I
would
can
be
definitely answer that question, Steve. I do script a lot of my videos when I want to do a very specific type of video and I want to get a point across. But funnily enough, some of the best videos that I've done from a purely kind of objective performance view have been just through doing bullet points and talking, which goes against a lot of the advice that you get.
yeah,
But then it's not really surprising because it really drives that human connection and it's relatable. I know you've tried a bit of that, Steve, in your channel. You've done a bit of both. And it's just about trying to figure out what works best for you, really. I like to now do a couple of videos which I know do pretty well for me when I'm kind of talking in this room from a script and a very specific point. And then every now and again, I'll throw in a video where it's just me kind of talking about a problem that I've faced, and that works as well. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's about keeping things varied.
right, right. Keeping people interested because Everybody's got, short attention span these days.
That's true, yeah. And then speaking of that, Mike said, are shorts worth doing if you do long form? Well, I think we might have covered it, but I think they are if you've got time and if they're working for you. It's a completely different audience for the most part because a lot of shorts viewers will sit there scrolling through. They just want to be quickly entertained by something. Um, I don't know. I don't think it's a particularly brilliant conversion rate from shorts to long form, but there are some people out there that watch both. So give it a go. Let me know how you get on because
Right.
it might work for you. It just doesn't for me. I'd rather not split my attention between shorts and long form. I just want to focus on one
Right.
thing, and a lot of people are like that. If you start splitting you, there's enough to do with a YouTube channel as it is for me. There are so many things to do, so many things that I
Right.
never even thought about when I first started. And you'll agree with this, Dawn. There are so many things that can go wrong. You've got, we all know what it takes. But if I was to suddenly start separating my attention and looking at doing shorts as well, I think I'd have a nervous breakdown, if I'm honest with you.
Nicola was talking about he's going to keep doing long form and some live. What do you think about doing lives? Not just this, a collaboration, but just doing a live on your own. How do you enjoy doing those?
Well, I haven't done one yet. I'm going to do it next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've had people holding my hand the whole time, which is a really great way to get into lives. If you can do that, I had Naz with me on the first one from the New Creator Club. If you don't know his channel, check it
Yeah,
out. It's pretty cool.
I did.
But he
So,
was on my first live, and I had so many technical issues leading up to it that when it finally came to it, it was almost like I was just happy to be there. And I was so happy to have somebody with me to talk to because if the comments aren't particularly busy and you haven't got a lot of questions coming in, you're then left with speaking from bullet points,
right.
really, because you can't read a script when you're doing a podcast. So you need to know what you're going to talk about. You need to have things in mind. You need to be able to speak and deliver them messages clearly. So yeah, that's going to be a tricky one if you're not used to doing that. But it's going to be next week, so you guys can all come and laugh at me as
For
I sit there
sure.
going,
Yeah, I'll be there.
yeah,
That's a thing. Another thing with lives I found, because I've done a few lives, it doesn't get the views as you're doing it live, but then people come and watch it later at their leisure, and then you'll get more views. But when I was doing the lives, I would get 3 people, and then
yeah,
one of them I did get actually got like 20 or 30 people, and that was fun. It was like a party. We were talking and chatting, and it was a lot of fun. But it was nerve-wracking because it was real. It was one-on-one. When you're making a video, you're just talking to the camera, nobody's talking back to you.
yeah.
It's easier. But this way, people were talking, and I actually had trolls come in during the live.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know how to handle this.
What were they? Well, I'm not going to ask you what they were saying, but yeah, how did you handle it?
I just, I tried to laugh it off. I was funny, and then I would delete it because you can delete it, but I just would laugh it off, to tell them they're
Yeah,
being ridiculous or whatever, just inappropriate stuff. People were saying inappropriate things. Yeah, I don't even know how they found it. Just somebody just happened to be wandering around YouTube and jumped on my live. I don't think it was one of
well,
my subscribers.
that speaks to them, not you. That's definitely their problem. There was
Yeah.
an interesting. I watched an interesting seminar about YouTube lives and YouTube content creation in general, and it was by the CEO of Think Media, and they've got a massive YouTube channel
Yeah, they
designed to
do.
help content creators, and
Yeah.
he used a term called chopping the chicken. So if you bear with me on this one, right? He said, a picture you've got a chicken in the back of a supermarket and it's in the fridge and people can come and buy it. And it's coming to the point in time where it's going out of date and you need to throw it away. Rather than chucking it in the, bear with me, rather than throwing it in the bin, if you then cook that chicken and put it at the front of the store as a rotisserie chicken, you've then got people could buy it. But then it gets to the end of the next day and someone still hasn't bought it. So what do? Instead of throwing it out, you chop the chicken and you make it into like a curry or something. And then by the next day, you've got another chance at selling it. So that was a really long-winded and quite hilarious way of describing. And he did it a lot better than I did. I butchered it, no pun intended. Um, he basically said that if you do a podcast or a live and you're able to talk from a bullet point, or bullet points, really cohesively, and deliver a message to your viewers on that live, you can then download that live and you can chop it up into a long form video. And then you can post that on your channel as a different video. And then from that long form video, you can chop that up into shorts. So you've taken the whole chicken and you've done one video. You've only
Oh,
recorded once. So it's only taken you the time it's taken you to record it. And from that one podcast that you do for an hour or an hour and a half,
interesting.
you can then have 5 long form videos out of it, and you could have 20 shorts out of it, all from one recording session. So he called it chopping the chicken, and
Wow.
I thought that was quite interesting. So
I
next
like
week when I
that.
do my live, I'm going to have some very specific things that I'm going to be talking about, and then you guys can all be bored to death for the next couple of weeks as I start chopping the chicken up and putting it out there as videos.
That's a wonderful idea.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. That's a good tip I had never thought about.
yeah.
Because
But you
like I
don't
said,
have
I've
to
done a
call it
couple.
chopping the chicken because it sounds a bit weird.
No, but that's a perfect point. Now I'm leering now when I go to the grocery store, I'm gonna know why
Yeah,
they
yeah,
got yeah.
exactly. But
Okay.
no, I thought it was a really interesting way of doing it, and I actually saw it in action on his channel because some of his videos he posted, which were 20 minutes long, were really, you can see that they were just edited versions of his podcast.
Ah. Well,
But they make sense. They make sense as standalone videos.
no, and I understand it, but do lives do as well as regular videos?
Well, I've had more watch hours on my lives than anything. My
Okay.
last live with Tracy, I think I've had about 60 hours out of it, which for someone that only has
Nice.
150, I had, no, maybe 70 hours, I think. And
Wow.
I've only got 160 now on the whole channel.
Oh man, that's awesome then. Okay,
So
that's good
the
to
answer is
know.
yes. The watch hours go through the roof. I've had subscribers from it, obviously, because you've got the cross pollination between creators. So again, if you could have
Yeah.
someone hold your hand on a live, and I'll always
Right.
come over to your channel and do a live if you ever get lonely.
I'm
Um,
I'm yeah, I was telling Diana I need to start doing lives myself, but I don't know if I could be the host. That's got to be more difficult. You're the one that's in charge, but I'm considering doing that with other channels.
well, yeah, but like I said, you've got someone to hold your hand.
Right.
And I keep saying hold your hand. It sounds a bit childish, but you're not
No,
the only one sitting there in front of the camera. We're both
that's a
here. We're
great
both
idea.
chatting between each other. We've got the audience, which I'm extremely grateful for, and they also keep the conversation going. They talk amongst themselves. I know Steve's been stealing my subscribers, which is absolutely perfect. It's the thing to do, and he'll probably be laughing now. But I'm glad to be able to introduce people in that way.
Right.
So I don't think there's any real negative to doing a live if you've got the means to do so. And
Okay.
I use StreamYard. I've often spoken about YouTube as a business. And like many businesses, in the first year, you might lose money, and you can write that off against your taxes. I'm not a tax advisor, but in the UK, I've registered as self-employed, so
Right.
all of my expenses for my channel, microphone, laptop, the lot, they're all business expenses. And I pay StreamYard, which is the point I was getting to. I think it's like £33 a month for this platform, which makes things really easy. How easy was it for you to get on, Dawn, when I sent you the link?
I just clicked on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you select your camera and your microphone, and you're in. And then we're both
Yeah.
here. We've connected my channel to YouTube
Super
already. I
easy.
just press go live, and then there it is. It's done. So if you're on the fence about doing lives, then I'd highly recommend it. It's one of the best things that I've chosen to do on YouTube.
Good to know. No, that's good information.
And Steve did one the other night. I think it was just a random one. And he had quite a few people turn up, even though it wasn't scheduled. And, I think it's great. It's also a great way of getting yourself in front of the camera. It's never going to be a bad thing, getting more camera presence. We've got another question, so I'm going to stop rambling for a second. And it's Cassandra asking a question about her specific niche, which I'm not really sure what it is, Cassandra, if I'm honest, because I haven't had the chance to check your channel out yet. So maybe Dawn can answer this question, but she's asking
Yeah,
if it's wise to bounce around with different
we've
content, as
talked.
in,
Yeah, it's hard for her because like my niche, like I said, it's me. And I can talk about my finances, I can talk about my health, I can talk about my family, so I can do a lot of things on my channel. And it's still about, me, my life. Whereas her niche, and I'm probably gonna ruin this, I always do, Cassandra or Diana. She's it's about people, I think women that are with a partner that is on the spectrum, and people don't believe them or whatever, that their partner's on the spectrum, and what they deal with on a day-to-day basis. Once they find out, she didn't know her partner was on the spectrum until afterwards. They're, married or involved or whatever, and now they're in love with this person, and they're trying to figure out why are they the way they are. You don't just want to leave them. You still love them, but you got to deal with it. And it's like, how do I deal with this? Nobody even understands or believes me. And so that's what her channel is about. It's a very specific niche, and like I said, it's grown rapidly because there's a lot of people in that same position. But what else can she talk about besides that?
Yeah, yeah, that's the point. I mean, if you've grown in firstly, I just want to acknowledge something, Cassandra. It's going to be difficult because if you're talking about a difficult, emotionally draining subject, which I
Very.
imagine you are, as a host of that channel, you might not realize this, but when you're constantly talking about things which are potentially negative, that's going to have an impact on your own mental health. So you need to make sure that that's kept in check. But I'm sure that there are positive messages that you can share from the lessons that you're kind of putting out there. So try and maybe weave in a lot of positivity into your message if you don't already. That's probably something that I would say, because it can be hard on you as a creator talking about things like that all the time. But as far as talking about other content, I wouldn't go so far off topic, because people are there to see your niche for what they've subscribed to your channel for a reason.
Right,
But
exactly.
you can certainly try to have things that are closely related, and I'm sure that there are things that, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human, right? Every single person's got humanity as a connection, and there are other things that you can weave in there. So give it a go. I'll check
Right.
your channel out as well, because I haven't yet. So
But what
I'm
about
so
starting a
behind on
separate
the.
channel?
Sorry, Don.
She could start a separate channel for doing that. I have a
Yeah,
separate channel, but I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm setting it up.
yeah, definitely. That's also great advice. I just wanted to let people know that also I was about, I don't know, 100 comments behind. I thought that I was at the bottom, and then I scrolled down and I saw all of these messages. So
What?
I've done a terrible job. I've done a terrible job. But yeah, I
Oh,
think
now the Maritimer's here.
yeah, he was here earlier. He's
I
he's
didn't
been
know
here for
that. He's a
ages.
celebrity. Wow. I'm honored.
Yeah, actually,
Awesome.
I'm to be honest with you, Rob's been on my lives, I think,
Oh,
3 weeks
well,
now. So I'm not
lucky
trying to
you.
brag. I'm just What I'm trying to say is
Oh,
the man is so supportive of everyone in the community.
that's
So
awesome.
what I'm going to do, and for anyone that doesn't know Rob, if you want to check out Rob's channel,
It's
I think it's
awesome.
only right that I give him the
Right.
recognition that he deserves, because he's one of the people who
Oh, come
really
on. All
inspired me to
content
start.
creators
And he
know
gives a
Rob.
lot of people hope, right? He gives hope to
Right.
normal people that normal people can succeed on YouTube. So
Exactly.
if you don't know Rob, check out his channel, because he is awesome.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
What
I've
other
caught up
question?
with the comments now. There's an awful lot on there, and I just want to say to everyone, thank you, because I, like many people, when I started my YouTube channel, I sat there and I questioned, would people even be interested in listening to me talk? And it turns out that yes is the answer. So it humbles me every single day when people watch my videos, but even more so when people spend an hour of their evening, especially, on a Friday, watching me sit in my office talking about whatever I'm talking about. And it's even more humbling that people like you, Dawn, will spend your time sitting there with me and holding my hand through the process, because it makes it a hell of a lot easier.
Well, I promote you in every one of my videos. In the description, I always put a link to you, because I know so many other YouTube creators that are starting out and they're looking for advice. And so you're my go-to. I tell everybody to check you out because you give honest advice. You don't just regurgitate the same old. And that's important to me. And everybody that's found you loves you.
Well, that's so nice to hear. And I've taken a lot of inspiration from Rob. I really
Oh,
did,
yeah.
because
Rob's amazing.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like I said, I've taken a lot of inspiration from him, and I genuinely believe if it wasn't for his channel, I probably wouldn't be sitting here now. So
Really?
yeah, and I'm not just saying that because the man's here. I think he might have gone now, but
Right.
I think recognition. you know, it's good to give credit to people. And I'm sure that if somebody said that to me, then that would make my day,
Right.
you know? So that's
No.
the thing we're doing here. We might only be talking about YouTube, and to a lot of people, they might think that that's not that important. But
Oh,
YouTube,
thank you, Steve.
I ha- I haven't done this video yet, but thanks, Rob. But yeah, I haven't done this video, and it's not something that I really think about I'm going to do. But you know how the whole YouTube's changed your life thing?
Yes.
Well, it's true, without a doubt, 100%. I live in this small little village in England. I don't have that many friends anymore. My social life is about as big as, like, you know, it's nothing. And the amount of people that I've connected with from having this channel, the amount of people around the world
Oh,
that I speak to now on a daily basis almost, it's
crazy.
just incredible. And it's given me
Right.
such a creative outlet. I was such a
Right.
boring consumer of content, you
Oh,
know,
come
I
on.
didn't do anything with my life other than work. So to have this channel now, it's changed my life completely. And I'm so
That's
thankful
awesome.
to every single person.
And like I said, you have helped so many people already. Like I said, Tracy told me and Emmy told Tracy, and we're all like, you got to watch this guy because we're all looking for help. We need help. And like I said, everybody else is telling the same old stuff, Rob's great. Now he's one of the few good ones that we all enjoy, but he's way up there, he's a celebrity on YouTube. But we really appreciate him. But we need more, so I was glad to find you because there's so many of the other ones. They just copy each other and it's the same thing.
Well, if you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to give you that one hashtag that will make you go viral. I promise.
That's what I'm waiting for. I just
That's what
want
everyone's here
one.
for. I've got 16 people watching now waiting for that one hashtag.
Yeah, we're hoping you'll give us the secret to your success because
Yeah, I will,
there's
but I
no
won't
rhyme
give
or
it to you
reason.
until the end. You have to watch another half an hour first.
Yeah, you got to stay till the end, and then I'll let you guys know. I haven't gotten that down yet. You got to do that. I've tried that. I don't know if you've noticed. I always tell people if you watch till the end, I'll give them a word of the day to leave me in the comments so I know. And I'm surprised how many people watch till the end.
I
That's
think they watch to the end anyway because of your videos, not because you're bribing them with whatever incentive. I'll give it a go on my next video. I'll say, if you stay to the end, you're going to get a word of the day,
and
and
I'll
you can let
know,
me know in the comments.
right? It seems to help.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know if I've got any questions left in the chat. You've been doing a lot better of
Thank
a
you,
job
Tracy.
than I have, which makes me wonder how on earth I'd ever do this without someone with me. But next week I'm going to be doing that very thing.
We'll all
And
be here,
it's more nerve-wracking than anything because I'm kind of putting it out there now. I'll be
right?
scheduling it soon. I'm going to be doing a live all by myself talking about, well, I don't know what I'm talking about yet, but I'm sure I'll make a post about it. But in the meantime, if there's nothing else from other people, as much as I'd love to sit here all night, I know that you've got things to do, Dawn, and I know that everyone else here have, that you've got plenty of other videos to watch. So I just want to say thank you to absolutely everyone. If
Right.
you ever
Thank
want to be on
you.
a live with me and you've got a YouTube channel, that's the only prerequisite, really. If you've got a YouTube channel and you want to be sitting where Dawn is now, not in Southern California, but on this podcast, please let me know.
Right.
And until next time, I guess I'll see you on the next one. But thank you
Thank
so
you,
much, everyone, for
everybody.
joining me. And thank you so much, Dawn. It's been an
Thank you,
absolute
Jay.
pleasure.
And I'll stick around.
Yeah. Cheers.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Rob. Bye,
Bye.
Steve. Bye, Jen.
Bye, Rob. Tracy. Yeah, this is